Emotion, the body's reaction to your mind. What about emotions? I get caught up in my emotions more than I do in my mind. Mind, in the way I use the word, is not just a thought, it includes your emotions as well as all unconscious mental emotional reactive patterns. Emotion arises at the place where mind and body meet. It is the body's reaction to your mind, or you might say a reflection of your mind in the body. For example, an attack thought or a hostile thought will create a buildup of energy in the body that we call anger. The body is getting ready to fight. The thought that you're being threatened physically or psychologically causes the body to contract, and that this is a physical side of what we call fear. Research has shown that strong emotions even cause changes in the biochemical of the body. These biochemical changes represent the physical or mental aspect of the emotion. Of course, you're not usually conscious of all your thought patterns, and it is often only through watching your emotions that you can bring them into awareness. The more you are identified with your thinking, your likes and dislikes, judgments and interpretations, which is to say, less present, you are as the watching consciousness, the stronger the emotional energy charge will be, whether you are aware of it or not. If you can if you cannot feel your emotions, you are not cut off from them. You will eventually experience them on a purely physical level as a physical problem or symptom. A great deal has been written about it in recent years, so we don't need to go into it here. A strong unconscious emotional pattern may even manifest as an external event that appears to just happen to you. For example, I have observed that people who carry a lot of anger inside, whatever being aware of it or without expressing it, are more likely to be attacked verbally or even physically by other angry people, and often for no apparent reason. They have a strong animation of anger that certain people pick up um, subliminally, and that triggers their own latent anger. If you have difficulty feeling your emotions, start by focusing attention on the inner energy field of your body. Feel the body from within. This will also put you in touch with your emotions. You will explore this in more detail later. You say that an emotion is mind's reflection in the body, but sometimes there is a conflict between the two. The mind says no while the emotion says yes, or the other way around. If you really want to know your mind, the body will always give you a trustful reaction. So look at the emotion, or rather feel in your body. If there is apparent conflict between them, the thought will be the lie, the emotion will be the truth. Not the ultimate truth of who you are, but the relative truth of the state of mind at the time. Conflict between surface thought and unconscious mental process is certainly common. You may not yet be able to bring your unconscious mind activity into awareness as thought, but it will always be reflected in the body as an emotion, and of this you can become aware. To watch the to watch an emotion in this way is basically the same as listening to or watching a thought, which I described earlier. The only difference is that while a thought is in your head, an emotion has a strong physical component and so is primarily left in the body. You can then allow the emotion to be there without being controlled by it. You no longer are the emotion, you are the watcher observing presence. If you practice this, all that is unconscious in you will be brought into the light of consciousness. So, observing our emotion is as important as observing our thought? Yes. Make it a habit to ask yourself, what's going on inside me at this moment? That question will point you to the right direction. But don't analyze, just watch. Focus your attention within. Feel the energy of the emotion. If there's no emotion present, take your attention more deeply into the inner energy field of your body. This is the way into being. As emotion usually represents an amplified and energized thought pattern, and because of this because of its own overpowering energetic charge, it is not easy initially to stay present enough to be able to watch it. It wants to take you over, and it usually succeeds unless there's enough presence in you. If you're not pulled into unconscious identification with emotion through lack of presence, which is normal, the emotion temporarily become you. Often a vicious circle builds up between your thinking and the emotion. They feed each other. The thought pattern creates a magnified reaction of itself in the form of the emotion, and the vibrational frequency of the emotion keep feeding the original thought pattern. By dwelling mentally on the situation, events, person, that is the perceived cause of emotion, the thought feeds energy to the emotion, which in turn energizes the thought pattern, and so on. Basically, all emotions are a modification of one primordial, undifferentiated emotion that has its origin in the loss of awareness of who you are beyond name and form. Usually, such moments are short lived as the mind quickly resumes its noise making activity that we call thinking. Love, joy, and peace cannot flourish until you have freed yourself from mind dominance. But they are not what I would call emotions, they lie beyond the emotions on a much deeper level. So you need to become fully conscious of your emotion and be able to feel them before you can feel that which lies beyond them. Emotions literally means disturbance. The word comes from the Latin emovere, meaning to disturb. Love, joy, and peace are deep state of being, or rather three aspects of the state of inner connectedness with being. As such, they have no opposite. This is because they arise from beyond the mind. Emotions, on the other hand, being part of dualistic mind, are subjected to law of opposites. This simply means that you cannot have good without bad. So, in the enlightened, the mind identified condition, what is sometimes wrongly called joy, is the usually short lived pleasure side of the continuously altering pain pleasure cycle. Pleasure is always derived from something outside you, whereas joy arises from within. The very thing that gives you pleasure today will give you the pain tomorrow, or it will leave you, so its absence will give you pain. And what is often referred to as love may be pleasurable and exciting for a while, but it is an addictive clinging, an extremely needy condition that can turn into its opposite at the flick of a switch. Many love relationships that it was all an illusion anyway. The truth is that it wasn't an illusion and you cannot lose it. It is part of your natural state, which can be obscured but can never be destroyed by the mind. Even when the sky is heavily outcast, the sun hasn't disappeared. It's still there on the other side of the clouds. All cravings are the mind seeking salvation or fulfillment in external things and in the future as substitute for the joy of being. As long as I am my mind, I am close. I am those cravings, those needs, wants, attachments, and aversions. And apart from them, there is no I, except as a mere possibility, an unfulfilled potential, a seed that has not yet sprouted. In that state, even my desire to become free or enlightened is just another craving for fulfillment or completion in the future. So don't seek to become free or desire for achieve enlightenment. Become present.